welcome back to me, I guess. And
Woo!
what a big win to the Abbey Canucks.
Moving on to the next round of the Calder Cup playoffs. What a big win and another shutout for Arty Silovs in an elimination game.
Yep, the fourth shutout of these Calder Cup playoffs. Another feather in the cap for this team. They just keep setting club records for the further they go in the playoffs. And yeah, just a really great game, top to bottom, the whole team. Silovs, an incredible game. Defensively, really didn't have to do much in the third. They kept Colorado to the outside for the most part. Just kind of had the cushion, weathered the storm. Textbook 5-0 win.
Essentially, the big thing too, and what we talked a little bit about was getting that early start, and they didn't. And then Arty Silovs was there to make a couple huge saves, which resulted in the Abbey Canucks Linus Karlsson being able to score, and getting that first goal against a team like Colorado was so massive because then they can't just sit back with a 1-4 and wait for you to come to them.
Exactly. Getting that first goal was really important. And then to back it up with the second one, both these teams, whoever had the lead coming out of the first period, neither one of them had lost if they had the lead after the first. So Abbotsford continuing that trend. And yeah, just great stuff. Another great night for the penalty kill to hang in there and kill the 3 minutes off in that major at the beginning of the third. For Karlsson to come out and get that extra goal 34 seconds in there, the cushion, give us a cushion, and that it took the pressure off of that penalty kill big time. So that was a really important goal.
Yeah, kind of a funny one too, but they quite often say you got to be good to be lucky and luck to be good. Completely fans on the shot, and the puck just kind of dribbles past the defender and gives them a perfect chance to shoot right from close in on Minor, and Minor really didn't have a chance from that tight end from Karlsson.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure if you ask him, that's what he meant to do, right?
Yeah. Just the way he drew it up.
Yeah.
So now I did want to ask too, with Sammy Blais getting tossed for that 5-minute major for interference and then also getting the game misconduct. Do you think there's any kind of thing coming down from the league as a result of that? Or are they going to look at that and be like, okay, he had his punishment and he was out for the third period. Everything should be fine.
It's hard to say. I don't think that Eagles player left the game. They were down for a bit. We never really saw a replay of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see if some video comes out of what happened. There's really not a ton of correspondence when it comes to that sort of stuff. I would be shocked if there was a suspension coming. They probably nailed it with the 5-minute major and game misconduct, and that was probably enough of a punishment for whatever happened. Again, I'm speculating because I have no idea. There's been no clip of it. I looked on the online. The only downside is that Sammy Blais his emotions really got the better of him this whole series.
Mm-hmm.
And by the sounds of it, it was another unnecessary, just kind of late hit that he really didn't need to take. But you know, there's that fine edge, right? Like Rafi Torres used to play that style where that fine edge where you're committing to a hit, but you gotta pull the parachute here or there sometimes. And this just sounds like one of those ones where it was a couple Mississippis too late and just a bit unnecessary.
Yeah, the guy was definitely down. But then again, with the Colorado Eagles, sometimes it's hard to tell how injured they actually are because they tend to stay down no matter how hard they got hit.
Exactly, and with the Eagles broadcast not showing any replay or video footage of it, I have a feeling it probably wasn't as an egregious play as the penalty warranted. But because the player was injured, it was maybe a bit reactionary to give him a major. So we'll see what comes out of it. But I would expect it to be a bit of a nothing burger.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look at the highlight package once they release it, because I have realized that Flow Hockey puts out highlight packages that are usually like 20 minutes long. It's crazy. They put like every single thing that happens, so maybe we might be able to get a look at what Sammy Blais did, but we'll have to wait and see. Once they should be posting it pretty quick here, though.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Phil DiGiuseppe, 5 goals now in these Calder Cup playoffs. He does score a little bit in the NHL level as well. Big goal last year with the Spinorama move. Are we surprised to see him at scoring 5 goals now through the first 13 games, or is it something you kind of expected to see from him down there in the AHL?
It's not really surprising. He's kind of one of those veteran guys that has had enough time up in the NHL to be effective at both levels. You can see why Rick Tocchet was a big fan of him because he has an incredible two-way game.
Mhm.
He's also very responsible in the defensive end. He had a couple of big back checks today where he broke up a couple of passes that could have been dangerous plays, but he has that 200-foot effort that you look for in a player. He just doesn't have that X factor that I would want out of a top six forward.
Mhm.
He's just a really, really, really capable third line guy.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that's probably what you ended up seeing him played if he makes the NHL team next year. But we'll see what happens because I believe he does have to cross waivers every time he goes up and down, so it makes it a little harder to move him up and down.
Yeah.
3 stars of the game picked by Colorado, but there was no goal scored by Colorado, so they can't really screw it up.
Yeah, no, this one should be a easy one. Like a Silovs first star stopping 32 of 32. Second star Linus Karlsson, 2 goals, both goals against goalies, and Phil DiGiuseppe's got to be third star with 2 goals, but he had an empty netter, so Karlsson gets the edge.
Yeah, nailed
How'd
it.
I do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, the great thing you see too from Linus Karlsson was even though it's 2 goals and that's great too, he plays a really solid, grimy game too. He's the one who's in there getting under people's skin. That's something that you want to see in the playoffs because we saw from the Colorado Eagles, it can be very effective when playing the same team 5 games in a row.
Yeah, I'd expect him to get a hard look next year in a third line role, playing that offensive grinder type. He's really learned how to use his body to his advantage.
Mhm.
He's not afraid to throw big hits either, and mix it up and get in the scrums, and that's really great to see. He's come a long way this season under Manny Malhotra. A lot of the young guys have. I mean, you look at the hit Glover through, and just every single guy on that roster gets in there physically and finishes their checks. I mean, even Lecker Mackey throws some body checks on the forecheck and stuff. Even though you don't really want him doing that because he has been banged up a little bit,
Mhm.
he's still willing to get in there and play the physical side of the game, which is so important when these later games where you don't have a lot of time or space. Like you got to be willing to take the hits, throw the hits, do anything you can to keep possession of the puck, and you can see a 100% buy-in from this team, top to bottom.
We talked a little bit about that with the legs and the being banged up and all that last game. I mentioned that we back in the day had played a team that was a bunch of burly veterans. And by the time you got to the last game, they were all toast. I kind of maybe saw a little bit of that. Maybe the legs were lacking for the Colorado Eagles for the first time in this series. Looked like they were a little lackadaisical.
Yeah, for sure. And that extra day off for those young guys of Abbotsford, Sunday to just do nothing and recuperate some energy and get some extra rest. I mean, that probably went a long way. And the young guys, I mean, young bodies recover faster than older bodies. I mean, it just is science. So, um, I wasn't surprised with Colorado trying to kind of get out ahead of this and get ahead early because they were probably feeling a bit in the legs. And then once they got behind, I mean, you could just see, I mean, Abbotsford pretty much dominated this game after the first 10 minutes.
Well, the dominance, and that's one thing. The last thing I want to ask you about before we move on to talk about the Western Conference Final is the buy-in from every single person. There was sticks and lanes. There was bodies being thrown about, blocking shots from every single different angle. It was top to bottom. Every single person on that Canucks roster had bought into the same system, and it was very effective when they did that.
Yep. I mean, that's just good coaching. That's good locker room chemistry. Your leaders are doing what they should be doing. They're leading by example. Um, no one's taking liberties with anyone because everyone's standing up for each other. It's just a really cohesive team. And then even when someone steps into the lineup that hasn't been in the lineup, they are ready to go and ready to buy into that as well. And everyone's moving their feet. There's no passengers, which is it's really great to see. And I mean, we haven't played Texas at all this season, so I don't know what we're in for. I did, look up their standings and stuff. They've had a decent playoff run. Their top line is going to be very dangerous, so that's going to be important for Abbotsford to kind of key in on them and shut them down. But I mean, they have. they have home ice advantage, and I'm just seeing now they've just released that game one tickets will be, or game one will be Thursday, May 29th.
That's interesting.
At home at the Abbotsford Center.
So Texas Stars get home ice advantage?
Nope, Abbotsford does.
Oh, Abbotsford,
This is best of 7
Yeah.
now. So for the Western Conference Final, it now goes to best of 7. So the first 2 games will be in Abbotsford, then they'll shift to Texas, and then back to Abbotsford if required.
Yeah. So I just pulled up the standings here. I'll bring it up for all the kids who want to see it. Texas ends up finishing 10th in the AHL with 89 points, and the Abby Canucks had finished above them just by a couple points. So pretty close at 92 points. They're 5th best in the whole league. So like you said, going to be a tough task. I'll actually pull it up tier 2 because you mentioned the player stats for the Texas Stars. And as you can see right off the bat, top 3 guys are all Texas Stars. And of course, Canucks logic, we have to face another former Canuck, Cole Lind, who has got 11 points in 8 games. So classic Canucks. Even the AHL, they're still Canucks logic.
100%. You can never escape it.
Aquilini's fingers are everywhere.
I mean, if you want to go deep down the rabbit hole, just go look at how the Cam Neely trade is still affecting us to this day.
Yeah, somebody made a video about that, didn't they? Oh
yeah,
my goodness,
it's crazy.
So yeah, and like, did you say it looks like I think game 1's on Thursday? I think is.
Yep, I just saw it announced online. Thursday, May 29th will be game 1 at the Abbotsford Center. So I would expect game 2 to probably be Saturday night, May 31st, and then they'll probably have 2 days off to travel to Texas. That'd likely be the schedule. I would expect. And then the way this will probably work is they'll probably play 3 games in Texas if needed. Like game 3, 4, and 5 will be there. And then game 6 and 7, if required, will shift back to Abby.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. No, it looks like they actually have it all posted now. They were quick on that. So I'll bring that up for you guys as well. So yeah, Thursday is going to be a 7:00 start, Texas Abby in Abbotsford. And then, like you said, you already guessed it, Saturday, May 31st, 7:00, Texas versus Abbotsford. And then we got a little bit of delay, 3-day gap as they travel down to Texas. 3 games in Texas, just like you said. And those are all going to be 7:00 starts as well, looks like. And then they play Monday, Wednesday, Friday in Texas. And then it'll be Sunday, Monday, pending whether or not they make it all the way to game 7. In Abbotsford again. So it'll be a 6:00 start, and then it'll be back-to-back games 6 and 7. So that could be quite intense at the very end of the series there.
Yeah, and one thing I did look up was how Texas did against Pacific Division opponents in the regular season. Because of the imbalance of divisions. There's only 7 in the Central and there's 10 in the Pacific. They actually played quite a few games against Coachella, Ontario Reign, the Tucson Roadrunners, and also the Henderson Silver Knights. And they did have a couple series against Colorado Eagles. Overall, they were about 500 against the Pacific Division. So if the Canucks can go in and keep playing with the structured game that they are playing, top to bottom, in a 7-game series, even without kind of knowing what Texas is bringing in, I'd say I have quite a bit of confidence going that Abbotsford does have a bit of the edge here, just with the overall lineup.
I like to also point out that it appears that we're going to have to face Emilio Pettersson as well, playing for the Texas Stars. So,
oh no, not the younger Pettersson.
Well, it should be funny too. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being quite similar to this series against the Colorado Eagles, because obviously Dallas is a team that has made the playoffs a lot and have traded a lot of their picks and prospects away. So I have a feeling you're going to see a lot of burly veterans again on this Texas Stars team.
Yeah, it's pretty much their rookie top line and then all veterans.
Yeah. Rookie plus Cole Lind.
Yeah.
All right, Thursday night, Dustin. Are you going to be around for that, or are you out of town? All right, and then I didn't ask you about your hole-in-one either yet because I was too excited about the win.
Yeah, no. Thursday night, I will be home. I will be home Thursday night, so I'll be around for that. I'm taking off now for 2 days to the States for a qualifier for the U.S. Adaptive Open, but got a good practice tournament in this weekend that had a really nice hole-in-one on in the first round on Saturday.
Yeah, I was watching your Instagram story and I laughed because you're like, yeah, I didn't have a hole in one until I got paralyzed.
Yeah,
Is that
it's,
it's kind of like
I've had
Daredevil, right? He lost his sight, so now he can hear things really well.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny how that happens, but I think it's just more of volume of play versus pre-spinal cord injury when I was a
Mm.
working man and didn't have a lot of time to get out, and now it's kind of my career. So little different circumstances, but still it was the hardest par 3 on the course, playing 191 yards with some wind, really difficult green to even land the ball on. So to get a hole in one on that one was pretty huge, really cool experience. And then I backed it up on Sunday by birdieing that hole again, by rolling in a 25 footer for birdie. So that was pretty cool, playing a hole 3 under par over 2 days.
Very cool. Congratulations on your second hole in one, buddy. And everyone in
Thank you.
chat saying good luck with the qualifier in the next couple days here.
Yeah, thank you everybody, and we'll talk to you Thursday night.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Talk to you soon, brother.
Cheers.
Nothing is perfect.